Is this thing on? Hey guys, welcome to my channel, okay? So if this is your first time here, welcome, 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 sweet teas. If this is your second, third, fourth, fifth, 100th time here, thank you so much for returning and actually allowing me to continue to make these videos, okay? So today, guys, we're gonna be talking about how I am officially at my 1-year anniversary as an entrepreneur, which is crazy to think about. Nuts, bananas. But here we are, March 31st. It's been a year since I have been a full-time entrepreneur. So quick little backstory. I was working for a company called D-Maker, and we helped kids in underserved communities. And on March 17th of 2020, what year are we in? March 17th of 2022, I received a calendar invite, to meet with my boss. This was not like our typical one-on-one day. So it kind of threw me for a loop, but I was like, God was preparing me for this moment. So I was like, okay, let me just go and see what this meeting is about. He made it super convenient. We were up the street from my place and met at a coffee shop on the Beltline. If you guys are familiar with Atlanta, you know what I'm referring to. So we met there, and basically he told me, we're gonna have to lay you off effective the end of this month, essentially. Now, I had a trip planned for my birthday. My birthday is March 21st. I had a trip planned for my birthday, and he talked about the struggle of going back and forth on whether or not he should tell me before or after my trip, and opted to tell me before my trip. So, still not quite sure how I feel about that, but it's fine. Got the news, effective 3/31 of 2022, I would no longer be employed. So at the time, I had sold my house in November of 2021, and I had purchased this beautiful condo that you see as the backdrop. So I had a little bit of a cushion that I was sitting on. I paid off all my debt. So shout out to being debt free. Oh, shout out to being debt free, okay? That's a whole nother, we'll make a whole nother video about that, okay? Period. Maybe I'll eventually link it here. You know how people do. I'll link the video here. Click to learn more, okay? So just put that in there as a little caveat just in case I do make a video about that. But anyway, back to the story at hand. So, I had sold my property in November of 2021. So I paid everything off, and I was debt free, and I had some savings. And I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur for real. I've always done a little bit here and there on the side, or I've been a hustler where I've had 2 to 3 jobs plus my little side entrepreneur gigs. So, I was like, this is the perfect time for me to just take the opportunity to bet on me. Why not? I know that I can be successful at anything that I put my mind to. And then also if this doesn't work out, I can always go back to corporate America and get a job. Baby, the resume is good, okay? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it. Step out on faith, prayed about it, and got the confirmation. So I stepped out on faith, and I was like, okay, let me take a couple of months to kind of figure out what it is I want to do. So I landed on acting, investment, real estate eventually, and e-commerce. So I wanted to be able to sell items online, drop shipping, period. Okay. So, after taking a couple of months to kind of figure out what it is that I wanted to do, pinpoint, because I'm so y'all, as humbly as I can say this, I'm good at a lot of things. So it makes it very difficult to just kind of put myself in a box, so to speak, on what it is that I wanted to, on what it was, that I wanted to run forward with first. So like I said, I landed on acting, e-commerce, AKA drop shipping, and investment real estate eventually. So once those two popped off, you know, buy a couple more properties, etc., blah, blah, blah. So here we are a year later. And the purpose of this video is to talk about my journey in the last year. Lord have mercy. Oh, child. Okay, so first of all, let's just give a round of applause. Thank you, sweeties. A round of applause for making it 1 year as an entrepreneur. Okay, boom. Now, when I tell y'all the truth of the truth of the truth is that this has been the hardest season of my entire life. And I just turned 36 on the 21st. So, the hardest year that I have had, I would say hardest season, I'll say season, has been the hardest season of my entire, I'll say career. Maybe I'll narrow it down because there have been some things that I've gone through that have been very hard and difficult to deal with, and it's taken me a while to kind of like, you know, go through that trauma. So I'll say this has been the most difficult season of my life when it comes to my career. So, let's dig in. Let's get into it. So, there has definitely had to be like a mental shift. Now, my goal, little pinpoint here, my goal of this channel is to be able to talk about like the real of entrepreneurship and just like what that journey looks like. I feel like the things that I've been able to find thus far did not prepare me for my journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously there's only but so much preparation that you can do, but I feel like people have not been keeping it funky and keeping it real. So like, that is the goal of what I want to do on this channel, is like just be real, authentic, and just really like share my journey with you all, and hopefully be able to inspire and encourage someone along the way. And then also give them a little bit of a, hey, heads up, you might have to face this or deal with X, Y, and Z, okay? So anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So biggest thing for me was the mental shift, okay, y'all? So you have an individual that is like very ambitious, very much like whatever I try, I'm gonna be able to do it. And not only am I gonna do it, but I'm gonna kill it, point blank and period. So you have someone who has, you know, a high esteem, high regard, high expectation for oneself walking into this journey of entrepreneurship. And, you know, I was like, yeah, I've heard people say like entrepreneurship is hard, you know, you'll have your ups and downs, but like, okay, that ain't, you know, it ain't nothing I can't handle, I can't tackle, I can't, you know, do. Baby, now that I'm in the quote unquote entrepreneurship trenches, you know, I definitely have a deeper understanding. So that's kind of what I want to dive into today. So when I say, y'all, mental shift, like mental shift, okay? So I was really focused on the end goal. When am I going to get there? Why am I not there yet? Why am I not making sales on my online store yet? Why, you know, these auditions that I'm submitting for, am I not getting selected? You know, what is going on? Like, it's been, you know, 3 months. It's been 6 months. It's been 9 months. Like, why am I not at the end goal as of yet? You know, and then scaling from there. So definitely a shift in the way that I was thinking, because I was literally probably, if I would have continued in the way that I was going in regards to, okay, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? I probably would have lost my mind. I think for the first time in life that I am able to like vocalize out loud or even like come to terms with, I felt like I was like low-key depressed. You know, I was eating excessively. Like, this is the heaviest I've ever been in my, you know, life. You know, I didn't really feel motivated to like get up and like do things sometimes, because it was just like, what's the point? Like, nothing is popping off like I thought it would, like I expected it to. You know, and just kind of going through that battle of okay, snap out of it, sis. Like, you got this, keep pushing. But constantly having to run up against roadblocks that I was not anticipating or prepared for or expecting even. Running up against those roadblocks can be very, very discouraging and debilitating, you know, because it's like you keep trying and you're trying to work around this one little roadblock, you know, and you just keep hitting a brick wall. And it's like, okay, so where now am I pulling this motivation to keep going, keep pushing, you know, keep chasing my goals and my dreams? And I think, you know, that's the reason why people put a lot of emphasis on knowing your why. Why is it that you're doing the things that you're doing? Why is it that you're, you know, in a position to where you're wanting to choose entrepreneurship, chase after your goals, your visions, your passions, etc. And I think understanding my why, and then knowing that I had real life responsibilities that I needed to take care of and still do to this day, you know, was the extra like pick me up that I needed. You know, I still allowed myself that time and space to feel the genuineness of how I felt in that moment, like, which was defeated, depleted. Like, do I really want to go on in this journey? Like, there were times where I was like in my bed at night and I was on Indeed.com, okay, looking up jobs, applying to jobs. And y'all, when I tell y'all, this is how I know this journey is like God ordained, like basic jobs that I should have gotten because I was qualified for or overqualified for. I'm sorry, we've selected another candidate. Or like worse, I never even heard back anything. And I'm just like, okay. So me trying to escape this journey of entrepreneurship, which is something I truly desire, but because of the frustration that I'm experiencing in this moment and trying to like step outside of that, would even fall flat. So that was also like, I took that personally as encouragement and confirmation to keep pushing, keep pursuing in this journey, keep going in the process. So here we are, right? A year later, I've gone through a mental shift where I went from focusing on the end goal to now focusing on enjoying the journey and the process and just trying to gather as much as I can from the experience and taking steps daily so that I can reach the end goal, but not allowing that to be, you know, the primary focus, because it was driving me crazy, y'all. For real. I'm laughing and smiling, but dead serious, it was driving me crazy. So that was a mental shift. I would say that that's the biggest thing that I've done thus far. Let me share a little bit more insight about me. I am very much a like spontaneous mover. I'm like, ooh, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. I don't necessarily have to even have anybody to do it with me. Like, if this is something I want to do and I believe that I can do it, I'm going to do it. So that being said, you know, obviously the smart and intellectual, practical thing to do is to like plan out a budget and, you know, limit your spending and your traveling and your this and your that. God is still working on me. I am not quite there yet. I feel like I have calmed down a lot. Like, I'm not hanging out and going to dinner and restaurants and things like that as much as I used to. But baby, I still have a lot of room to grow on this here entrepreneur budget, okay? So I cannot say that there has been like a huge, like monumental shift in my budget and like the way that I'm living life. But it is something I'm working on and working towards, and I've gotten slightly better at. Okay, so mental shift, financial shift, and what else? I think those are the biggest two that I've really had to kind of like figure out and navigate through this past year. So I wrote, if y'all see me looking down, I wrote a couple of notes, you know, as I'm a beginner in this whole recording and sharing my journey with you guys. Like, I have a couple of notes here. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so journey. Let's talk about expectations versus how it's really been. What adjustments have I made? Okay, we talked about that. Great, I'm on track. Income. Baby, let's talk about the income. Because I just knew the way that I'm set up, the way that I'm a goal chaser, the way that I'll be hunting down my my ambitious life goals. I just knew I was gonna be a millionaire in 1 year, baby. I just knew it. Like, what? Yeah. I'm gonna be a millionaire in a year. I'm gonna find the perfect product to sell online. Everybody's gonna want it. And I'm gonna be a millionaire in the next year. Baby, I'm not even 100 air. I'm screaming. Okay, very much in the negative. Okay, I have spent so much money on like advertisements, setting up my drop shipping store. Memberships for acting services, buying products to test them out to see if they're of good quality. Like, y'all, not a millionaire. Not even 100 air. I'm in the negative air, okay? But it's okay, because you got to start somewhere. You definitely have to start somewhere. So these are things, like, I'm not a numbers person. Like I said, I'm very much normally like a spontaneous mover. I jump out, try something, and it works, and it's successful. And if I like it, I'll continue to do it. If not, then I'll move on to the next thing. Okay, check. Conquered that, boom, you know? So I didn't necessarily go into entrepreneurship with like a game plan. For all my people like me, say identify in the comments or something, so I know that I'm not alone. I know it's not the smartest thing to do, but listen, I'm being true, authentic, and this is who I am, and I'm sharing my journey with y'all. So yeah, like, I was not a numbers person. I didn't sit down and like budget myself out for the year. I didn't sit down and, you know, calculate what my losses have been versus like my gains. I just know that when I sold my very first product on Shopify, I was so excited. I was running an ad on Facebook finally, because Facebook advertising is the bane of my existence. Like, we're not even gonna go off on that, because that's a whole tangent for real. Like, when I was about to lose my mind, it was low key because of that Facebook business manager, and the ad account kept getting shut down, rejected. But anyway, spent some money on the advertisement. You really don't know like how much that's gonna cost at the end of the day. It's like you can budget for a certain amount, but you may be above or under, whatever. So yes, you can budget roughly on that. What was my point, child? The Facebook business marketer that got me all discombobulated. Can't drop some mic because I'm not done yet. Okay, the moral of the story is, I'm gonna just make up another one because I don't remember what my original point was, but I know we were talking about income and just like expectation in regards to like how much you're gonna spend and put towards your business, how much you're gonna, profits and losses, to sum it up, right? Didn't go in with a plan of like, oh, I'm gonna spend this much and I wanna get this much in return. Not a numbers person. Like I said, I was just like, hey, I'm gonna find a product, I'm gonna build this site, I'm gonna jump in, I'm gonna look at my competitors, make my, you know, try to make my advertising better, and like just go full force. So I couldn't tell you to this day. I mean, I could go back and look at my statements and my documents, obviously, but like, that's not me. I need to hire somebody to do that, because that's not me. I care about it because I know it's important, but I don't care about it to be like, oh, I spent $1 million and I got $2 in return. Like, I don't feel like I'm there yet in this stage of my business. And I know it's good to kind of start those habits early, so that as you are growing and scaling, you know, those are things that you've already learned from the beginning, so it kind of becomes second nature. So again, like I said, I am a work in progress, okay? So, spent a lot of money, hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars building up my site. Y'all, when I got my first sale on Shopify, I was so excited. I sent text messages out to the masses, like, y'all, I got my first sale, because it was exciting, because the work, the energy, the blood, sweat, tears, I wasn't bleeding. So sweat and tears that I put into, building this store, it was like, oh my God, like I can actually do this. Like people want to buy the stuff that I'm putting out there. This is so exciting. Y'all, I got 3 sales. And then it went quiet. Crickets. I was like, and one of those sales was from my auntie. Shout out to my auntie. Thank you for supporting me. Auntie Sissy, love you so much. You're amazing. So yeah, 2 sales from strangers, and then 1 from a family member. Y'all, I was so excited when I got those sales. I'm like, yeah, I'm learning the rest of the process, like fulfilling these orders, shipping them out. Boom, look at me. Yeah. And then my ads got restricted again, which is, again, we ain't gonna talk about Facebook, because Facebook, we're not gonna talk about it. We don't talk about Facebook Business Manager to keep me sane in this video and not on a tangent. So anyway, so again, you learn and you hear about these hurdles and roadblocks and things like that you're gonna face. And it's like, you gotta make a decision. At the end of the day, you have to make a decision. Are you going to keep pushing forward, or are you going to stop? Or are you gonna pivot? Okay. So what I decided to do was pivot. So still doing e-commerce online, but I'm really into like style. I won't even say like I'm into fashion. I don't know like a whole bunch of fashion designers and what the latest trends in fashion, are gonna be, etc. Like, not necessarily, like I'm not like engulfed in fashion like that. But I love styling and like the uniqueness that you can create through the expression of clothing. So at the time of starting my general store, which I did not tell y'all, but I was starting a general store at first on Shopify for my e-commerce business. Shout out to Shopify. They didn't pay me to say that, but hopefully eventually they will. Okay, so I was building a general store, and I was like, okay, the general store is going to be like the playground where I can like learn everything, and then, get everything down pat, and then I'm going to open a series of other stores on Shopify. So I was kind of building both out at the same time, just so that I could, like, the basics, the foundational stuff could be the same. And then I paused on the clothing store, and I moved forward with the general store. So gave you a little bit of insight of the general store, hit some roadblocks there, etc., etc. So now I was like, you know what? I'm not necessarily like enthralled with passion about the things that I'm selling, like the trending items. So I was like, let me shift to my clothing store, because I like clothes, baby. The moral of the story is I like clothes. So I needed a way to kind of like reinvigorate myself through this process and this journey as an entrepreneur, so I would not like slip back into, all right, so we finna go on Indeed.com again, and we're gonna apply to these jobs again, right? So when I say pivot, that's what I mean. So I'm still doing the same thing, right? Still e-commerce, still drop shipping, but I'm doing it in a way, I'm finding products now that are more like appealing to me to kind of reinvigorate, re-energize myself, so that I'm able to continue to push forward. And then we'll go back to the general store when it's time. It's not that I've stopped completely with that for forever. It's just for the time being, so that I can regain my endurance to keep pushing. I had to pivot. So yeah, when you talk about expectations of income, like I said, I thought I would be a millionaire by now. I am not. Y'all pray for your girl. We got one more year to try to make it to that multi-millionaire status, okay? And I do believe it's coming. I'm gonna keep pushing, keep persevering. So yeah, the income has not been what I envisioned. And I feel like I had a high goal and expectation set for myself just because of the person that I am, you know? Not because of the reality of statistics where it's like, okay, businesses really, it's like a 5-year mark before they become profitable, truly, you know, etc. I know all of those statistical things, but I also always believe that I'm the exception to the rule. That's just how I live my life. My motto that I've come up with probably in the last maybe year and a half is, if not me, then who? And I want y'all to adopt that same mentality. If not you, then who? So I do believe that I'm the exception to the rule. I still believe that I'm the exception to the rule. It's just a learning curve and journey as I'm going along. So I'm pivoting where needed to stay focused on the journey and eventually getting to the end goal, right? What have I learned? The biggest thing that I've learned is, like I said earlier, to focus on the journey and the process and kind of becoming an expert in it versus focusing on the end goal. Like, why am I not here yet? Why am I not a millionaire? Why am I not, fulfilling all these orders? Why have I not gotten any orders today? Why haven't I, made X amount of sales, etc., blah, blah, blah. So I've had to pivot to focus on the journey and becoming a master of the journey. And shout out to Michael B. Jordan. He always talks about being obsessed with something, or being obsessed with whatever it is you're working on. So I found myself applying that level of thinking to my journey as well. Like, I'm trying to become obsessed with what it is that I'm trying to do, pursue, achieve, etc. What am I working on now? I've already talked about this. I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, girl, you're killing it because you're already talking about this stuff as you're rambling on and running your mouth. So I am working on my clothing store, point blank and period. It has launched officially on March 21st. So y'all go check me out. It's TC.Couture.com. TC.Couture.com. I'm sure I will add the link to the description below. I've been waiting this whole entire video to say, I'll add the link in the description below. I'm just kidding. I haven't, but I thought that was funny. But anyway, yeah, guys. So the wrap up is pursue your goals and dreams. Never give up on yourself. Always believe that you're the exception to the rule. Pivot when you need to, but keep on pushing. Thank you guys so much for coming alongside me in this journey. I'm excited to continue to share with you all, but I need to know if y'all even care. Are y'all even interested? If you are, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I need y'all to do all three. Not either or, not one of the three, all three. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, and I'm gonna add a fourth one. Go ahead and share this video. Share this video with someone that you think will be able to benefit if they are, just starting their entrepreneurship journey, basically like I am, or if they are talking about becoming an entrepreneur. I would love to be able to share insight as I'm going through my process and my journey with them. So I appreciate you guys. Y'all are my sweet teas. You see what I did there? Ah! Okay, but anyway, thank y'all so much for joining. Have a great day. TeolaOConnor, aka Life with TeolaMae, signing out. Don't forget, I can't make this stuff up.